On December 20, 2014, from approximately 9 to 9:15 p.m., the day before the equinox, on Indianapolis, Indiana's south side, I witnessed an unprecedented, for me, mass UFO sighting. 20, by my count, or more of a like tiara-shaped UFOs passed silently overhead from the east-southeast sky into the west-northwest sky in an apparent string of pearls fashion. These inner lit objects with graduated windows alluding to a pulsating orange-yellow glow appeared to be consciously guided through a variety of behaviors including variations in sequential quantity, speed, distance before deciding either to hover outright, ascend then hover, some simply disappearing with cloud subterfuge, and many deciding to pass directly overhead, after hovering, with absolutely no sound and no vapor trails. I have seen this before, but never as profusely as this time. Also, yet again, I've become aware of at least one black helicopter, dimly flanked toward the rear by one small light, perimeter pacing the area, giving the objects a W_I_D_E berth. I had been outside tending to a feral cat colony and the UN characteristic behavior of the known colony members, including uncharacteristic shrieking, crying, and absolutely hyper-scurrying drew my attention and fear, for the cats, to our questionable guests. The negative adrenaline reaction blends with the sense of utter astonishment.
The 17th of March 2015, 12 a.m. Indianapolis, Indiana. I was shocked when I first noticed the UFO and the speed it was traveling across the sky. I was fascinated with it until I realized it was following my path home. I was so terrified and couldn't wait to get safely in my house.
The 30th of March 2015, 11:21 p.m. Indianapolis, Indiana. As I was sitting in my car in Kroger parking lot, I saw a woman looking in the sky. She was looking so hard that I looked too. I saw a red glowing orb that had an orange glow in the front outlined by a yellow glow in front of that. It remained visible in the sky far longer than a plane would have. It was larger than any plane and round but seemed almost solid yet like fire. I was amazed. Shortly thereafter we witnessed a lot of helicopter activity in the area, flying low and hovering.
The 17th of April 2015, 8:12 p.m. 1. At an Indianapolis Indians game with my fiancée. 2. I recorded a slow-motion video of a helicopter nearby hoping to get a nice shot of the rotary blades in slow motion, 224 frames per second. Looked at video and then noticed the strange dark object move faster than any living creature or man-made craft would be able to move. 3. I had no idea what the object was. I thought at first maybe a bird, but the real-time version of the video disproved that based on speed. 4. Entered top right portion of the screen and crossed the horizon with time su speed, then cuts right and moves behind the stadium lights helping to determine size, which would be at least Tay size of small plane. 5. I thought to myself after seeing the video over and over again that this is completely abnormal and felt it important enough to report. The copy of the video on my phone is the best quality, but I have it on YouTube. Just search UFO at Indianapolis Indians game. On my phone's version you can see the object change direction then move out of frame. I didn't stay on the object because I only noticed it after I reviewed the video.
On May 2, 2015 at approximately 11:35 p.m., I was traveling north on the west part of 465. I was traveling at approximately 65 miles per hour. I believe I was located somewhere between 10th Street and 38th or 56th Street on the west side. I noticed 3 lights that formed a triangle in front of me. A nearly perfect triangle. Mind you, this was not over my head as in a triangle, but if the face of a triangle were facing me. I noticed it to my left of my windshield, and as I drove I observed it simply moving across the sky as if it were traveling across my windshield. It did not appear to move quickly nor did it change direction. The 3 lights never wavered in their location. They never broke the shape of the triangle. All 3 lights moved at the same speed as if it were one large object moving across the sky. Behind it, I noticed 2 more lights, but they did not appear to form a shape. The lights were orange orbs. I lost sight of the object, because I was unable to pull over and observe the object more because of the highway I was on. I simply couldn't follow it due to my travel. If I were on a different road, then I would have pulled over. Now, I'm also open to the fact that these were lights behind me, like street lamps reflecting off my window. However, the lights would need to be directly behind me, and either they would need to be moving, or my car would need to be turning, and I was traveling straight ahead.
The 5th of June 2015, 9:45 p.m. Indianapolis, Indiana. I was standing outside of Pure Eatery, preparing to go inside for DJ gig. I looked above the building across the street and observed two stationary, dual red lights. About 30 seconds after noticing it, it moved across the sky and came to a stationary position nearly above me. I began filming the object, which made no sound. As I filmed the object, several other people on the crowded street took notice. I filmed the object for 2 minutes and then stopped filming. I looked down for a second, and when looked back at it, the color had changed from red to green. I began filming again, and it suddenly made its way swiftly across the sky, until it went out of view behind the buildings. I stopped filming, and about 30 seconds later, a helicopter flew across the sky rapidly.
The 4th of July 2015, 10:30 p.m. Indianapolis, Indiana. I just saw the weirdest thing. I was looking southwest when a bright red object appeared from behind the trees. It was moving west slowly and was too big to be a helicopter, even though that's what I originally thought it was. Then I thought it might be some sort of fireworks since it was the 4th of July. And even a meteor or something crossed my mind because it was so unusual. It looked big. As I said, too big for a helicopter. I see National Guard helicopters all the time, or here then. It appeared to be about a block or two away and a few hundred feet off the ground. Unless it was bigger than I thought, and moving slowly as a helicopter might move. It suddenly appeared to get significantly smaller, as if the lights shining on it were lessened somehow. It didn't just change like a switch was flipped, it was almost as if it faded, taking a second or two. I know, crazy, huh? Still a bright red though. At this point my mother, who I had called, was also observing. It continued east for about 5 or 6 seconds, traveling what appeared to be about 2 blocks. Then slowly arced to the south. It never appeared as if they were lights, but rather something was shining light on it. It was illuminated in a bright red light. It didn't look like the light of an aircraft, but rather something illuminated. As I said, it turned and started south, gaining altitude and picking up speed, quickly. At this moment I thought to get a camera, but within about 6 or 7 seconds it was just a pinpoint of light that faded at about 15 degrees above the horizon. When I first saw it I thought it was a low-flying helicopter, but I never heard a sound. A helicopter I would have heard. A small plane can't move that fast. I never could discern a shape, but just a bright red ball. Glad I wasn't the only one who saw it. Weird.
The 25th of July 2015, 10:30 p.m. Indianapolis, Indiana. I was at a party and we were outside, and I saw a quick flash of light in the corner of my eye, so I looked up to see what it was. I see a light, almost directly overhead towards the west, that looks like a really large star starting to change into all visible colors, one at a time. I had no idea what I was looking at, and the only things that I could justify claiming that it was had to be either lightning, a shooting star, or a firework, since it was only a few weeks after July 4th. But a split second after I discovered the object, it shot off in a straight line to the east, leaving a trail of light that was changing colors as well. Though I could not tell the size or altitude, it was obvious that the object was traveling faster than any plane or aircraft I have even experienced. It was apparent that the object was separated from the trail, even though the colors changed in the trail it left. Almost immediately after this happened, the light and its trail of light disappeared. I felt like the object knew that I had spotted it and therefore took off as quickly as it could. I also considered that it was phasing in and out of high-speed travel. As mentioned before, it was hard to determine the altitude, but it was too high to be a firework, and I feel that it's fair to say it wasn't lightning because of the nature of its beeline flight path. This leaves the possibility of a shooting star, but it's too large in my opinion, and I was in an urban area that caused enough light pollution that you had a hard time making out the brightest stars. I have seen shooting stars before, but it didn't feel the same and the object did fly in a straight line. I have yet to see a shooting star that doesn't have some curve in its flight path. There wasn't any sound coming from the object or afterwards, which helps to debunk the possibility of it being a firework or lightning. To my dismay, I discovered that I was the only one that saw the object at the party.